right? So a different kind of phone, designed for life in motion, that you saw in the video, so you don't miss a moment. And you see straight away that it's different. It's much bigger, right? No, seriously, yeah. So it's bigger, but it's just on the picture. We have small phones also, but it's a good way to stand out. So you see that it's different. Yes, you have icons. We call them panels or live tiles on the start screen. We have a start screen that shows information. So information is very important in UX design for Windows Phone. We have conducted thousands of user surveys and asked, what do you want your phone to do for you? And basically, you want the phone to serve you with information when you need the information. So that's the basic concept of how we designed the UX. But there were inspirations for the design language, and Danwei will go into detail on the specifics, particularly when it comes to application design. But I will take you through the basics a little bit. But this is what was shown in the video. So what we wanted to do was to design a phone that was distinctly different from all other phones, to set it apart, to make it stand out, but also take the daily user interaction to a new level. You saw in the video again that today people focus on apps, right? You jump in and out of apps, you try and piece your life together and make it work for you. But your life doesn't really consist of separate entities of things that you do. It consists of things that sort of meld together, that flow into each other. So that's how your daily life looks. So basically we want to pull things together and make them make more sense on the phone, to free up time, to make things a bit more engaging and easier to work with on your phone. So that's the sort of design thinking behind the UX design that went into the platform. So this is a picture that Danwei will show later on, but it shows you how different it is. When people see this, they, oh, wow, this is different. So you see a lot of negative space, you see a lot of bold colors, you see information that stands out. So we'll talk about and show more of this in a demo. But this is, you know, the basic Windows Phone design language and how it comes out on the phone. So you have your start screen, you have your contact card, you have your calendar, and you have your people. So this is the inspiration. You guys work with design. You can probably, you know, think about why this was the inspiration. Any ideas?
Maybe life in motion.
Yes, life in motion. That's a good, good thing. Yeah.
Everyday life.
Everyday life.
All that has to convey information in a really quick way.
Exactly.
At the same time.
So what is this? What is it that we see on the screen? It is information. It's but what type of information? What type of
Travel.
what was that?
Travel.
Travel, exactly. Travel and
Location.
location and even numbers, destination, and when you have a destination that you need to go to, you actually navigate, right? So this is about navigation. So this is how the world transportation system looks like and has been looking like for many, many years. This is how we find our way in a world where we don't know the language in the place we're going to. So I don't know Japanese, but I can go to Tokyo and find my way. I'm not a French native speaker, but I can easily sort of arrive at Charles de Gaulle Airport and take a metro into central Paris and find Champs-Élysées or the L'Arc de Triomphe, for example. Because this basic navigation system looks the same all over the world. So it's a bit of a genius in this. You take something that we all know and use it as the navigation principle for the phone. So the thinking is, of course, as I let this sink in, that anybody should be able to pick up the phone and instantly understand how we navigate. No manual needed, but also design it in a way that is more clever and faster than the previous version of sort of simple UX design on the phone. Okay. Metro, this is our design language. We call it Metro because it's modern, it's fresh, it's clean. We'll talk about clean and show clean. It's fast and it's in motion. It's about content, and I talked about content. The content is what is important. Information needs to be projected out and served to you as a user when you need it. It's about typography. Beautiful typography that is clearly visible and readable on the phone, on the small screen. And it's entirely authentic. Will you talk about this, Danwei?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not going to steal Danwei's thunder. So we'll explain in more detail what authentic on the phone means. This is important, so take a note of these design principles. And they're inspiring. Have Metro work for you? Again, I'm going to let Danwei go into this, but it doesn't have to be black and white. So this is an example of, a pure Metro design weather application, but you can see how the Metro theme or Metro design principles are applied from the Xbox team, the Office team, and you can see a weather app looking Metro, but still have a clear identity from the app publisher. Motion. Motion is important as well. Fast and in motion. Motion can also obviously be used to delight the end user, to create an experience that is fun and engaging to use. But motion is also something that can be used to guide you when you navigate the phone. So for example, you can use motion and a particular motion to go in to an application and another motion to go out, just to enhance the concept of navigation. And that's also something Danwei will go through in more detail to see what types of motions you can use to ease the navigation for your users in your app. Okay. Quickly on app visibility. So today, how many apps are available on iPhones? Any ideas? How many?
400,000.
400,000. Well, I see different numbers all the time. I see 500,000. I see, lots of apps, right? And on Android?
300,000.
Yeah, lots of apps, right? I'll show you some interesting stats on apps, but in our platform, we want apps to be relevant and to be used. And there's a premier placement for apps on the start screen. So if your app is good enough, it should be on the start screen. And on the start screen, it can show information. So it's not just the dead icon, if you will. So it's a live experience. It shows information. It gives you something. It gives you value. It simplifies your daily life with the phone. So you should think about the tiles on start as you design your app. And we'll talk more about that as well. Question?
The users can select which tiles they want to have.
Yes. Again, remember, and I'll show you this on my phone, this is the end user's phone. So we want nobody to go in and decide what your phone should look like. It's your phone. It's your personal experience. You decide what apps or what panels are relevant, or what tiles are relevant for you. And that might shift over time, right? So you have a week when you're really into music and a particular artist or whatever, and that week, that artist and the playlist belonging to that artist are on the top of your start screen, as one example. And then you take them away as you get bored. Oops. This is also important. I'm going to show this. We'll talk about hubs, integrated experience. This is trying to take a big step away from the app-centric idea. We know that things that belong together rarely come together in an easy way on an iPhone or an Android device on other platforms. But at the same time, we know that stuff you do on a daily basis actually belong together. They have a connection. So what we have tried to do is collect things that belong together in one big experience, and we call those hubs. So hubs are basically stuff that makes sense putting together in one big context, making it more engaging, making it easier to digest that information. So we'll talk about hubs, and we'll show you hubs that really aim to stimulate and simplify what you do every day on the phone. So we have hubs for your people, so your contacts, regardless of those contacts being job contacts or social network contacts. We put all contacts into a hub. We have pictures, everything relating to pictures. We collect that in one experience. And I'll explain what this sort of panorama-like experience is while demoing on the phone. So pictures, that means my pictures on the phone, my pictures in the cloud, your pictures, editing pictures, right? Sharing pictures, all stuff relating to pictures collected in a hub. Office, for those of you who work in office, so the entire office experience in a hub. We have games, not just the games themselves, but also your games community, your friends playing games, new games, trying games, downloading games, playing games, all things related to gaming and games in one holistic experience in a hub. Music and video, same thing there. You don't want to jump in and out of apps, collecting your music and video experience. You want to have it as one integrated part. So in here you will have videos, podcasts, you have radio, you have apps relating and doing music and video. So you will have a way as a developer to plug into these hubs and make your application or your experience available as part of the bigger context. Does that make sense? Just to make it easier for the end user. Applications, of course, this is Marketplace. This is our version of Market and App Store. And this should also be a more engaging experience. And I'll talk briefly in the end about how your app can be much more visible and how users can find your app on Windows Phone. We know that app discoverability is a problem on iPhone and Android. So we aim to make it simpler for users to discover and use your applications, if they're good enough, of course.
How are you going to do that? For example, with the iPhone, the big problem is there's so much, crap apps and
Yes.
like 2/3 of the apps they're really, really bad.
Yeah, I'll talk through that. First of all, let's see. Yeah, so this is just a few examples of hubs. I mean, hubs does not need to be designed by us. You can create hubs as an app, if you will. So a sailing hub, all things related to sailing, visible in one experience. This will replace 4 or 5 different applications that you have to use together to create your sailing experience. Flying, taking you from A to B, taking you through the entire journey, from checking in to what you will discover and experience when you're arriving at your destination. So think through the scenarios, think through the community you're targeting. But we'll talk more about that in the app design session. Personal finances. Now we have bank apps for each separate bank. But maybe if you have a stock portfolio, and maybe if you want to handle your utilities costs, like energy cost and things like that, you want to have one experience covering your entire personal finances rather than just your bank account in a single bank. So there are smarter ways to do things. So this is designed to make you think slightly differently when it comes to what an app should look like and what an app should do.